Hey you guys, it's Cam here, Football Friend My Podcast, back with another video reaction, man. I am excited to do this, man. It helps my perspective and like to kind of be nostalgic, and see different takes from older generations, man, and just talk about new stuff too. But also, I really I like doing this, man. But don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, man. Hit that bell notification to get all the content, man. We got everything you can think of, man. And the more you engage, the more the algorithm likes us, and we want the algorithm to like us because we like the algorithm, man. So today's video is by Empire, man. Finding the best college football team of all time. Interested to see the perspectives. I expect a couple teams I expect to be on the list to make this list valid, man. The 2001 Hurricanes got to be on the list, preferably top 5. Then you got to have that Longhorns team with Vince Young. You got to have them on there. Some USC teams, some Oklahoma teams, man. Some of my Bama teams should be on there. If you watch the program or the podcast, you already know I'm a Bama fan. So, should be on there. Let me see. I expect some Nebraska teams to be on there. Steve Spurrier, Florida teams, some of them should be on the list. I expect Bobby Bowden's Florida State to be on the list. So yeah, we'll see, man. Old school USC teams from like the 70s, 80s should be on there too. Bear Bryant's Alabama should be on there too, man. So interested to see, man. So without further ado, man, let's get started.
Moments of painful, horrible football make the eventual triumphs all the sweeter. Welcome to the mountaintop, the pinnacle of what a college football program can be. Some stay here for a decade or more. Whatever the case may be, to witness the ceiling of a program is fascinating, often more so than witnessing the floor. Every year there are 1, 2, or more programs that claim to be the very best in the nation.
Right,
but just like with the worst teams, they are not created equally. Each wins in their own way, against their own competition, with varying levels of domination. And I'm here to determine the best of the best. First, the parameters. Parameters I'll be speeding by as fast as possible because I went over most of them in the first part of this 2-part series. If you want more detail, check that out first. The teams judged will be teams with either a recognized national title, mainly according to the official NCAA website,
Bama team
or the best record on the year. Sometimes they're one and the same, such as the previous 2 years. Sometimes they're not, like in 2008. If multiple teams share the best record, including a national champion and runner-up, both are judged.
Bama
Group
team.
of 5 schools are also allowed. Couldn't make the list without BCS busters.
Boise State, I forgot about that.
And the sample will go back to the year 2000 due to stats being hard to impossible to find past then depending on the program. Finally, the formula, trademark pending, is the same from the first part. Here's the basic rundown of how it works. Like that, we have our 39 greatest teams, ready to be dissected.
I like this already.
2007 was a strange year.
Oh God. Hold up. So we talking 07, right? So if anybody follows college football, man, you understand that 2007 was probably one of the craziest seasons ever, man. You start off the season with Michigan and losing to Appalachian State at home. That was wild. Cal was in the top 5, which depending on your fandom is not normal. Then you had UCF in the top 5, man. Oklahoma State was in the top 5, man. Mizzou was number 1. West Virginia was in there, man. But one constant of all these teams, man, is they all lost. You know what I'm saying? Now, you see the first team on the list is Hawaii, right? Hawaii was really good, bro. I want to say this. Rest in peace to Colt Brennan that year, man. Heisman finalist, man. He really balled out, man. So it was good to see the Western Athletic Conference getting some love. But '07 was crazy, bro. Crazy. I think you had a two-loss national champion with LSU. You know what I'm saying? But coming into that weekend before the bowls were announced, LSU wasn't supposed to be in the national championship game. But as you all know, '07 was chaos personified, man.
The whirlwind of odd occurrences and strange juggernauts. Many forget that the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors were that year's BCS buster. The Warriors would accomplish this through
Cole Brennan,
three
man.
strategies.
Cole.
First was a high-flying run-and-shoot offense that not only averaged 439.5
Nasty.
yards per game, but led the nation in
Look at that
scoring
pass,
at
bro.
43.4 points per
Ooh,
game.
give me them ankles.
Next was a fairly solid defense, complete with ball hogs such as Adam
Bumbo.
and Myron Newberry, who combined with the rest of the defense to average a little more than 2 turnovers a game. Finally, Hawaii had an offensively weak schedule, the worst of the sample. Playing
Yeah,
two
okay.
seasons
It wasn't
on top
that
of a
bad.
weak
Wasn't
Western
that?
Athletic
That
Conference
wasn't
slate.
that tough.
But
a
hey,
schedule. It wasn't.
whatever wins you games. And sure enough, heading into bowl season, they found themselves as the last undefeated team in the country and were invited to the Sugar Bowl to play SEC runner-up Georgia. Unfortunately, the Warriors would not enjoy a happy ending.
Yeah, Georgia put the beats on them.
Hawaii, in order to get that nation-leading passing game going, lived with letting their inner Brett Favre out and slinging it wherever they could, which led to almost 3 turnovers a game, most of which from interceptions. An elite defense would be able to completely neutralize their air attack, and sure enough, Georgia would do just that on route to a blowout.
Yeah, that
Ending
wasn't
one
pretty.
of college football's strangest Cinderella stories to complete one of its strangest seasons. It's a climb from Hawaii to the rest of the sample, but it's there where you see the first national champions, the least of which.
Boy, that run in the early 2000s to like when the BCS ended, man, them SEC teams was absolutely amazing, bro. You see '03, you see '04, you see '06 on there, man. Dude, them teams was fire. You know what I'm saying? So, we'll see.
Being 2003 LSU, followed by various other 2000s teams, along with Clemson and Georgia's more recent stretches of dominance. Each are down here for different reasons. For the champions of the new millennium, each struggled with turnovers. Going further from the modern day, turnovers become more common. This is due to a number of things: bulkier equipment, less QB-friendly rule sets, and a general regression in the passing game. Some teams were able to use this to their advantage to get some of the largest defensive scores in the sample. These teams are not them. The modern champions are more a
better
victim
not
of
be.
generalization. Each have great offenses and defenses, yet neither are elite enough to put them further ahead of the curve.
See, man, I still can't believe that play, man. That was Clemson, Louisville, Lamar Jackson versus Deshaun Watson, man. So first things first, let me preface this by saying, what were the Bears thinking when they saw this game? You had Lamar Jackson and Deshaun Watson playing, and you chose to pick Mitchell Trubisky. You tripping, man. Tripping. Crazy. But aside from that, not a pro reaction, but why did he cut inside, man? Because he went outside, but he just could have went inside. I never understood that play, man. But that was a good game. Loved it.
Don't get me wrong, they are great teams, great enough to clear or almost clear their competition, yet fall short of the numerous statistical anomalies that lie ahead.
He had to show that highlight. If Hunter Renfrow, man.
Finally, we see the first BCS busters, programs from non-power 5 or 6 schools that find their way into a major end-of-year bowl, the earliest of which being the 2000.
Hey, man, Boise State was off the chain too, man. They was out there taking these Power 5 school souls, man. They was out there killing them. That boy, Boise State was fired, bro. I missed them, man. But Chris Peterson had to get his bag, bro. So I ain't mad at that at all, man. So you can expect the play to kind of regress a little bit. But man, Boise State was good, man. Utah was good too with Urban Meyer that year, man. So shout out to them.
For Utah Utes. Each usually have great offenses, defenses, or both, but their overall score is handicapped by their naturally weaker strength of schedule.
Yeah.
Football is a team game. To be the best, the sum of the whole must often surpass the individual. Yet sometimes there's a player so transcendent that they, and they alone, can carry their team to greatness. 2010 Auburn is Cam Newton.
Oh, yeah. Cam Newton. Bro, Cam was off the chain, bro. Dude, one of the best Heisman seasons you'll ever see, man. Hopefully somebody got a highlight of that, man. As a Bama fan, I ain't supposed to be watching and liking Auburn at all. But, bro, if you was a football fan first, yo, Cam was cooking. Look at this.
The Tigers will emerge throughout the year with the SEC's best balanced offense, averaging 214.4 passing yards and 284.8 rushing yards, with Cam Newton leading his team in both. Even taking some time to not only notch 20 rushing touchdowns, but a receiving touchdown against Ole Miss.
Stupid.
If his Tigers were down bad, like when they trailed Alabama by 24, he'd turn up the heat.
Not this game. That hurt. Rest in peace to Lesson Kirkin, though, man, because he had a big touchdown in that game. But, dude, this one hurt.
And will Auburn to victory. Again, and again, and again.
Down
Numbers aren't everything.
0.
And despite their fairly low placement here, there's no denying how special this team and their star quarterback was. Immediately after that comes a look into the philosophy of the formula itself.
UCF.
2017 Colley Matrix National Champions, the Central Florida Citronauts came in with a final rank.
Okay. So UCF, man, I can see them on the list. That was a pretty good season, though. They was balling out, dog. They was definitely doing their thing, man. So that was fire, man. I ain't even gonna lie. I kind of like it. I kind of like them on the list, man, because they was dominant in a group of 5 way, man. Like, they had some really good players, bro. So I thought, Mackenzie Milton was gonna be something serious, man. Some injuries kind of derailed that, but also, man, they was good, man. They was good, and they definitely had an argument for the national championship, but I thought it was kind of cringe for them to like put it in the stadium, but. And the fact that Scott Frost was like I get it. He wanted to coach the team all the way through. So I'm not really mad at that. It's just, I don't know, man. I don't know what bothers me about that so much, man. I'm probably just thinking too much about it. But it just seemed weird, though. Considering he had taken the job already, you know what I'm saying? So typically coaches might coach the bowl game, but I've seen a lot of cases where coaches leave and then the assistant coaches or the coach to be named later coaches the game. I don't know. I just felt it was kind of cringe after they put it in the stadium, but it was a good season nonetheless, man.
Ranking of 23rd. Placing them in the top half of the group of 5 BCS busters, led by former Nebraska Golden Child Scott Frost. Yeah. Orlando's finest would finish the year as the highest scoring offense of 2017.
Yeah, they were scoring points, bro. The
only team of the season, and with the 4th best statistical defense of the 2010s.
Good too.
Except it sure as hell does not look it. 42 to South Florida, 55 to Memphis, hell, 33 to FCS school Austin, PA. What?
All right, so when I look at them things, man. So when you look at like Memphis, like the way defenses was played around 2017 till now, for real, it's hard to stop a team that do what you do. So if you pass the ball a lot and you proficient with it, kind of like Memphis and UCF was, those games is hard to predict because they're gonna be good regardless. Because defense is gonna have a rough day. So I don't really put too much stock into Memphis though, but we'll see. No, you don't, man. Get out of here. Get out of here. This dude just said this was Oklahoma. Godly. Get out. Exactly. Get out. Get out. Close the door. Close the door. Oklahoma, man. Gotta be out of your mind.
A defense that doesn't make those big plays,
Gotta
like
be ridiculous.
Georgia, for
Oklahoma.
instance. For me, at the end of the day, a negative point drive is far worse for an opposing offense than a 0-point drive. And a defense that can consistently force them is, in my opinion at least, a better defense. But it's something to keep in mind going forward. The best defenses will do
he should be
both
good with
at an
Wisconsin
elite level.
He gonna
But there
build
will
them up
be
into
a
something.
lot more Central Floridas. Entering the top 20, we begin to see teams specialize with 2005 Texas and 2014 Ohio State, both pairing high-scoring yet turnover-prone offenses with bruising defenses, which combined with their brutal strength of schedules bring them here. 2010 TCU, on the other hand,
See, man, that's I expect to see Vince Young on the team on this list, man. The Vince Young 05 Texas team, bro. They was good, man. They was a good team, man. I expect them to be a lot higher. 2014 Ohio State, I don't really know. I don't know. I mean, because I believe that's the year with, I want to say Zeke was on there. So, shout out Zeke. But I don't know. I kind of want them to be a little higher. So, I got to see who else is on here. But I hold that 05 Texas team in high regard, man. That team was really good, man.
excelled on both sides of the ball, yet, like all Group of 5 teams here, was hampered in the formula or helped during the season by a weak strength of schedule.
Yeah, they kind of whack.
And then we get to the only program to appear on both the worst and best teams of all time. 2007 Kansas.
Hey, so hear me out, dog. This, if you didn't understand what 2007 was, Kansas was like in the top 10, top 5 maybe at one time. Yeah, that was 2007 for you.
Sharing the year's best record with Hawaii, the Kansas Jayhawks, 5 years away from entering college football's basement, was 1 game removed from playing Ohio State for the national title, finishing the year with a scoring offense only slightly less efficient than Hawaii's with 1.6 less turnovers per game. Combined with a defense that only allowed 16 points per game, the Jayhawks would rocket to the top of the AP poll, before succumbing to the 2007 season's curse of number 2.
Yes, sir. Mizzou.
Losing to Missouri. While Kansas's stats are loaded, what holds them back is the weakest strength of schedule among Power 5 teams. Starting the year with a murderous row of out-of-conference
Look at that. My boy Macklin,
2
bro.
MAC schools,
Jeremy
an
Macklin,
FCS
shout out.
and
Kirkwood.
a 1-win Florida International. That, on top of an incredibly weak
My
Big
boy
12
Macklin,
North,
dog.
would bring their final strength of schedule percentile to
Shout out Chase Daniels too, man.
lower than some BCS busters. Nevertheless, the wayward Jayhawks finding themselves in this conversation at all is no less impressive.
Okay.
Again, 2007 was a strange year.
What's
Immediately after, we have our second Nick Saban-led team, the 2011 Alabama Crimson Tide.
Okay.
This is the first of many.
Okay. Yeah, it should be a lot of teams on the list, man, from Alabama, man, especially during Nick Saban era. But if this is the lowest one, I can agree with that a little bit. The team was pretty good, but I believe that's the team that lost to LSU in the regular season, but beat them. But it was okay. It was an okay season. It was dominant, but If you had to pick a team that was lower, that had to be lower on the team on the list of top 10 all time team, it'll probably be that one.
Many Alabama teams, and this one ended up being the least of them. It's here, though, where we see the foundations for Saban's Alabama dynasty,
Ooh, Eddie
especially
Lacy
during the
was
first
cold.
part of his tenure at Tuscaloosa. Relatively low-scoring, ground-based offenses focus on ball security.
Nice.
The strong defenses built to
Look at Chin
control
Richardson.
games. In terms of yards and points allowed per game, this squad actually ranks the highest among the sample, holding their opponents to an average of 183.6 yards per game
Yeah.
and a filthy 8.2 points per game. The
Nasty.
only thing that holds this rendition of the Crimson Tide back, and what puts it behind many of Nick Saban's other teams, was its strength of schedule. Having played only 3 teams that finished the year ranked, with 2 of those teams being LSU. Going forwards, we arrive at the statistical
okay.
best BCS buster,
Okay.
the 2009 Boise State Broncos.
Yeah.
For many,
Yeah.
this program, and this
Yeah.
team in particular, is the BCS buster, and one unfortunately snubbed from playing a major program at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, Chris Peterson's 09 squad
Ooh my God! Look at that! Look at that field, dog. Bro, I love that field, man. That field is probably what got them a lot of recruits, man. Like, bro, it's beautiful, man. Beautiful. I loved it, man. Shout out to Boise State, bro.
would amass one of the program's best statistical single-season offensive and defensive performances. And shockingly, they had accomplished this feat with only 5 seniors on the roster.
Yeah, Kellen
Making
Moore,
the
man.
Broncos the
Kellen Moore doing big things, offensive coordinator in the NFL, man. Look at him, man. But before that, dude was a surgeon out there, bro.
youngest team in the nation by a mile. They'd start their season off with an 11-point victory over eventual Pac-10 champion Oregon. And then they would go on to boat race the rest of the Western Athletic Conference, with their only one-score game coming on behalf of Tulsa. They'd end the year with a Fiesta Bowl berth against fellow perennial BCS buster and number 3 team in the nation TCU, handling business to clinch
Yeah,
their
Scott
second
Peterson, bro.
undefeated season.
Yeah.
And their place as the 14th
Yeah.
best team of the 21st
Well, it was nice.
century.
I like
Despite
him.
being the best Group of 5 team to reach a New York Six Bowl, they do not stand alone among Group of 5 teams. For on this list, there are 2 stains. I do not know how they are this high. The rest of this list, to me at least, passes the eye test. It makes sense.
Interesting.
This does not, and yet I can't find a reason to put them any lower. 2003 Miami of
Ooh,
Ohio
okay.
and 2011
Okay. No. I get that. They had, I want to say Ben Roethlisberger was on that team. So, yeah, they was pretty good. I like that. Now, 11 Houston. I don't know if Case Keenum was there still, but I can see them on the list. They was pretty good.
Houston are the 3rd and 1st best Group of 5 teams on this list, being numbers 16 and 13 respectively overall.
No.
How? I'll try to explain. 2003 Miami, again somehow, came out to be not just the best MAC team, not just the best Ohio team, but the best team of 2003, beating out both national champions on the way. Led by eventual 2-time Super Bowl champion quarterback Ben Roethlisberger,
Yes, sir.
the Red Hawks would start slow with an 18-point loss in Iowa City to what would eventually be a top 10 Iowa Hawkeye squad, but would pick themselves up immediately after and blow out Northwestern. From there, they'd blow out every single team in front of them on their way to
Oh
the
my
GMAC
God,
Bowl
bro.
against Louisville.
Oh my God, that was
Finishing time with
nasty,
LSU and
bro.
Boise State
I
with
should have
the
went
best
back
record
to
on the
see
year.
that thing.
It's the
man.
schedule more
Look at that. That is nasty, dude. They is beating people up. Golly, they beat. I mean, obviously, the strength of schedule is kind of whack, but still, man, Ben Roethlisberger was dealing, bro. Buffalo stood no chance. Marshall stood no chance. Shoot. Man, they was blowing people out, dog. That's crazy.
than anything else that propelled the Red Hawks up this list.
That's fire.
Not only did they start the year with 3 Power 5
Look at 'em.
opponents, but
Big Ben.
2003 might have been
Big
the
Ben.
most competitive
Look
Mid-American
at that.
conference ever.
Right there.
3 teams finished the year with double-digit
Yes,
wins.
sir. Yes,
with
sir.
wins including number 21 Alabama, number 15 Maryland, and number 16 Purdue. along with a one-score loss against a top 5 Ohio State. In one of the most competitive group of 5 conferences of the 21st century, Miami would come out emphatically on top and somehow reach this list number 16 spot. 2011 Houston is a slightly different story. Conference USA was not nearly the gauntlet the MAC was in 2003, but the Cougars would make up for it with their stats, especially on offense, averaging almost 600 yards per game.
Jesus,
It'd
bro.
be one game away
600?
from berth, becoming a true BCS buster. But Southern Miss had to come and ruin it with a 49-28 thrashing. Instead, they found themselves in the Cotton Bowl, or the Ticket City Bowl against Penn State, where they decisively handle a newly paternalist Nittany Lions.
Yeah,
Do these teams deserve to be this high?
That 07, that's a part of the dark part of 07, man. Yeah, we don't talk about that though. But that was the end of Joe Paterno. So unfortunately, I don't know. Depends on how you feel about it, but that was a crazy season, and that kind of was a part of it too.
In my honest, divorced from the formula opinion, no. Miami may have the resume, and after all, they didn't even have the worst loss among the other 2003 teams judged. But Houston has little to no reason to be the best group of 5 team.
You're talking about 11.
Yet here it is.
My bad.
And
But
there
either
is
way, that was a
nothing I
tough
can
season
do about
for
it.
them too.
As we enter the top 10, we see Alabama. And we don't really stop seeing Alabama.
Yes, sir.
Broken
Let's
up
talk
a bit
about
by
it.
2013.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Look at that, baby. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, 15, 16, 17. That was a crazy run of teams, bro. That was nice. That was nice, bro. Damn, that was nice. Cold. Yeah. So, if we talking about the Alabama teams, bro, looking at it, man, because I think this is the top 10, so I don't know how I would put, I don't know, man. I feel like one of these teams should be in the top 5, bro. If I had to pick one that'll be in there, I have to say '09 was good. That was the first national championship under Nick Saban. That was good. I can't really put 16 because I think we lost to Clemson that year. And then we beat Clemson. Then we beat Clemson or Georgia the next year. So, I don't know. I'm going to go 15. I thought 15 was good. The 15, I thought 15 should be a little bit higher, man, honestly. Because, don't get me wrong, 17 was good, you know what I'm saying? And then 20 was good, the COVID year. That was pretty cool. 09 was good, too. But 15 was different, though. 15 was different, though. 15 and 16 should be a lot higher, man. Especially 16. We didn't win the national championship that year, but 16 was good, bro. That defense was freaking amazing.
Florida State in 2018, Clemson at 12-9. The Crimson Tide comes out strong with 4 of the top 10 spots. Like with Saban's 2011 squad, most of these teams share the same DNA.
Yeah.
An offense and defense built for the sole purpose of controlling games and choking out the
Hey,
competition.
shout out Jake Coker, man.
The 2015
Beast.
and 16 teams, despite appearing pretty standard in their base stats and not even winning a title
Look
in
at
the
that. Look at
2016 team's
Another
case,
shout out,
would
Richard
be
Remaining.
helped for once by their strength of schedule percentiles.
Look at
being
Derrick
two
Henry.
of
King
the most
Henry.
difficult
You can't
in the
stop him.
sample at
You can't stop him.
0.37 and 0.36 respectively.
Peace.
Highlights include beating the Big Ten West and East winners, a top 10 Ole Miss and Clemson in 2015, and blowing out an eventual top 5 USC, blowing out the Pac-12 champs Washington, and playing Clemson again, only to lose by 4.
Yo, alright, so peep this, man. Look at them zeros, man. Those single digit scores, man. wild, bro. That's why I think this team 16 should be a little bit higher, man. Man, they was out there killing folks, man. Like, bro, uh, nasty, dog, nasty. That defense was sick, man. Sick, man. Oh man, that was a good team. I can't believe we lost to Clemson, man. Hunter Renfro.
In 2016, it's perhaps the roughest two-season stretch any team has had to play, and the Crimson Tide still left with only 2 losses. Neither are Alabama's best team, however, and shockingly, the COVID year Tide isn't either. Instead, the honor goes to Nick Saban's 2017 squad, finishing number 6
Yeah,
overall.
2017 was good,
Being
man.
the perfect rendition of what a grounded pound offense is meant to be.
Yeah, it was
It
good,
achieved a
bro.
final offensive score of
It was good,
687.43, primarily
good,
on the
man.
back
The
of
16 just
0.7
holds a
offensive
special place in
turnovers a
my
game,
heart, man.
tying for least
Defense
offensive
was so
turnovers
good.
in the sample, along with an absolutely stacked QB room.
Yeah.
This, combined with a defense that allowed less than 12 points per game in a fairly tough
Shea
schedule,
Patterson
would
didn't know
bring
what to do.
2017 Alabama
Shout out Mika
to the
Fitzpatrick,
forefront
bro.
of Saban's dynasty.
Like an underrated person on his defense though was actually Ronnie Harrison, bro. He was the enforcer on that team, bro. He was knocking people out, bro. He was hard hitting, man. I liked him. Minka was cold, but man, 17 was good, man. 17 was good, but man, 16, bro, too good for
As
me.
we enter the top 5, we begin to see the best this sport has to offer. The greatest offenses, the greatest defenses, the best
All right,
overall,
let's see this top 5,
and
man.
the greatest to fall short of winning it all. These are the greatest teams of all time. So, why not start with a team with 2 losses?
Oh yeah. So yeah, that's what I want to talk about. '07 LSU, man. Yeah, 2 losses, man, but they were still good, man. Like I said, '07 was a crazy year, man. When a 2-loss team is on one of the best college football lists, so interesting.
2007 LSU was the final team left standing in a year of constant upsets. The first 2-loss national champion since 1960 Minnesota, the Tigers, despite 2 triple overtime losses to Arkansas and Kentucky,
Yeah, that's what
would
kinda
find
kept them in
themselves
the
in
thing.
title contention after Missouri, shortly after.
Yeah, man. So yeah, after that's what kind of kept them in the top 10, 5 range. The fact that them losses was triple overtime losses. So, but this right here, this loss, Mizzou, number 1, getting blown out by Oklahoma. Man, we had it, bro. We had it, and we just couldn't hold on, man. 2007 for you.
beating Kansas, shit the bed against Oklahoma in the Big 12 title game,
Yeah, that's
making
right.
the long trip to New Orleans to play a top-ranked Ohio State. They'd promptly take care of business in a 38-24
Take care of
victory,
business, bro.
ending the year
I know
with
Brandon
one
was
of the
happy
better
about that.
statistical defenses of the 21st century, combined with a good offense and tough schedule. 2007 LSU would finish with a total score of 1,726.77, good for 5th best of the 21st century. 2007 LSU needed all the luck in the world to not just make the title game, but get to
Yeah.
play it in their own backyard. Turns out, that luck was being taken from their 2011 campaign.
Hey, I ain't gonna cap to you. 2011 LSU was good, bro. They was good. They just as good as Bama in 2011, bro. That was a good squad, bro. That was a good squad, man. The 9-6 game was crazy. You had the Honey Badger, man, going to New York for the Heisman, bro. Like, wild season, man.
To begin with, they were stuck with an absolutely brutal schedule, kicking off with a neutral site game against a top 5 Oregon, then back-to-back ranked matchups with Mississippi State and West Virginia, then back home to take on a ranked Florida, then a ranked Auburn, and then away in Tuscaloosa to tackle second-ranked Alabama, finally finishing the regular season with their annual rivalry
Look at Honey
game
Badger.
against the number 3 Arkansas. Each and every time, however, they took care of business, blowing out every single team they faced, with the notable exception being Alabama, where they just barely escaped with a 9-6 overtime win.
Boy, that was a
cementing a
game.
berth in the SEC championship game against number 12 Georgia, where they yet again took care of business. These Tigers were in so many big-time games during the season that College Game Day would bear witness to them 4 separate times throughout their season going into the title game. They'd finally be given a break, it seemed, in that said title.
Hey, I know Brandon mad about that one, bro. That was tough. Boy, I don't know, man. I don't know why they would do Jordan Jefferson, bro. I don't know why you would play him, man. When gosh, I forgot the quarterback's name, but he was starting all season, bro. He was damn near the reason why they won a lot of these games this year. I don't know what they was thinking. Les Miles for you.
Game playing once again in New Orleans against the only team to give them trouble in the regular season. 2011.
Also, another thing about this game, this what kind of started the wheels rolling on the college football playoff format of today, just to be honest with you.
Alabama and LSU are built very similarly, having nearly identical offensive and defensive stats. With the only clear difference between the two being a night and day
Come here, where you going?
Yet
Get
even
back
being
here.
far more battle-tested, national title rematches more often than not favor the previous losing team. And sure enough, the 2011 Tigers would fall 21-0, and Nick Saban would claim his second title with the Crimson Tide.
Look at that.
Despite this, they remain ahead of the year's national champion here, primarily due to the gauntlet they had to face to even reach the matchup, finishing with a final score of 1,749.23, just barely ahead of the 2007 champions. At the final 3, we finally reached the statistical leaders, the best offenses and defenses of the sample, beginning with the juggernaut that was the 2001 Miami Hurricanes.
Come on, man. Okay. I'm not mad. They in the top 3, so I'm interested to see who else is on the list, man. But all right, they in the top 3. I like that.
Remember back to some of the other early 2000s teams, how their scores were decimated by the more turnover-prone game at the time, and how some teams took advantage of that atmosphere to create absolutely absurd defensive performances. None, even the best, can hold a candle to what Larry Coker and his Hurricanes were able to accomplish. 4.1. That's the average turnover count the Miami defense was able to force. Most came from interceptions at the hands of cornerback Philip Buchanan and eventual Super Bowl champion safety Ed Reed. Miami's defense wasn't just ball hawks either, with a defensive line built for the pros, helping hold opposing offenses to 270.9 yards per game and 8.6 points per game. All in all, the unit would gain a final score of 10.98, far outclassing any other defense in the sample, being the only defensive multiplier to enter the double digits, more than making up for the relatively pedestrian offense. All this, combined with a surprisingly tough Big East schedule, primarily being propped up by a 4-game stretch of back-to-back ranked wins, culminating in their Rose Bowl victory over postseason rival Nebraska, the 2001 Miami Hurricanes would finish with a final score of 1,822.72, and the third best team of the 21st century. Now that the best defense is covered, let's move on to the best offense.
Ooh, shit. Okay. So I was expecting them to be on the list regardless. It should have been in the top 5, man. So all right. So coming from a Bama fan, the 2019 LSU Tigers, man, was probably one of the best offensive teams in the history. Maybe number 1. Because they had so many weapons that you had to account for. So obviously you had Joe Burrow, the trigger man of this crazy offense, man. But then you had Clyde Edwards-Helaire at running back, who, I mean, you can't put a linebacker on him. You know what I'm saying? Because he's too fast, too shifty. You know what I'm saying? You can't put a safety on him because he actually got the power to run him over, man. So he was an X factor on that whole team, man. But then you go tight end. That is Moss, Randy Moss' son. Like, he was definitely learned. He was nice. Then we got the outside. Like, what was you going to do with Chase and Justin Jefferson? Like, come on, man. That was, bro, that offense alone was crazy. And then defensively, like, you don't have to do as much as you think you have to do because realistically, your offense is going to score like 50 points a game. So all you got to do is just play the game the way you're supposed to play. And that's exactly what happened, man. So, I mean, they had guys like Patrick Queen. I mean, then you got guys like Stingley on the outside, man. So they have some boys on that team, man. Some beasts. So, like I said, I didn't like losing to them, man. But, bro, it was a tough team to beat. So that's all I can say. That was a tough team.
2019 LSU was brought up briefly in the worst teams video, but let's focus in on them because they have what might be the best offense of all time. Averaging 48.4 points per game and 401.6 yards per game through the air alone.
Nasty, dog.
Along with averaging less than a turnover a game, they'd finish with a final offensive score of 771.63, by far the highest of the sample.
Not
What's
fair,
more impressive,
man.
however,
Not fair.
are the teams they were doing this to.
Look
It
at
handles 7 top 25 teams, 4 of which finishing in the top 10, by a combined score of 298 to 190, including a 63 to 28 evisceration
God, that
of
was
Lincoln Riley's
nasty.
Oklahoma in the playoffs. While the face of this historic offense is undoubtedly Ohio State transfer Joe Burrow, he'd be assisted with an all-star cast of future pro talent, including Jamar Chase, Terrace Marshall Jr.,
forgot
and
about
Justin
him.
Jefferson. The final game of the year would pit them against the defending national champion Clemson, the successors of Dabo Swinney's best Tiger squad, and the Bayou Bengals would demolish them 42 to 25. Before getting to the best team, it's worth looking back beyond the year 2000 for a second to evaluate some earlier teams I was actually
some
able
honorable
to find
mentions, man.
complete stats for. After, of course, listing teams I wanted to evaluate but could not due to lack of end-of-year stats. 1945 Army, 1956 Oklahoma, 1972 USC, 1986 Penn State, 1988 Notre Dame,
Definitely,
and
yeah.
1991 Miami.
Yep.
Beginning with the only group of 5 team to win a national title in the modern era, meet the 1984 BYU.
Oh yeah, BYU was nice, bro. They definitely should have been on the list, man. That was a good team.
Cougars. With Robbie Bosco under center, the Cougars would average 377.6 yards per game through the air, allowing for the menacing Mormons to blow out most of their competition en route to becoming the only undefeated team left in 1984. Unfortunately, they played absolutely no one. The win that rocketed them to the top of the polls was a season opener against an, at the time, number 3 Pitt. A Pitt that ended the season with a losing record. No team BYU faced, in fact, would finish ranked. And their holiday
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, they ain't really play nobody, bro.
bowl win against the 500 Michigan wasn't necessarily convincing. They'd finish the year with a final score of 664.65, second to last on the sample, just above 2007 Hawaii. 1991 Washington was one of many split title winners from the years before the Bowl Coalition, winning the Coaches Bowl while Miami won the AP poll. In stark contrast, their
They was
winners
good, though.
2008
Washington was
campaign,
good.
Their undefeated 1991 season would be headlined by the year's best defense, holding their opponents to 237.1 yards per game, while forcing 3.33 turnovers a game, giving them a defensive score to rival even Miami's star-studded 01 unit. They'd finished the year
91
out
was
in the
good.
Rose Bowl, demolishing a top 10 Michigan 34-14, and gaining the Pacific Northwest first.
Yeah, I forgot
And as
number
of now,
90 name, but he was
national
really
title.
good.
They finished with a final score of
don't know if that was Corey, bro.
1,537.44.
Somebody, if you watch this video, let me know if Corey Dillon was on that 91 team, man. Because he was good.
Putting them at number 8 on the list, above 2018 Clemson and above every other West Coast team in the sample. Finally, sticking with the 90s, we encounter another claimant for the best team of all time, 1995 Nebraska.
Oh, yeah. Shout out, what's his name? Tommy Armstrong, man. He was good. No, not Tommy Armstrong, man. I can't remember the quarterback name, man. The dude was nice, man.
Tom Osborne's finest team,
Man,
95
I can't remember his
Cornhuskers, would
name, man. I don't
dominate
wanna
each
butcher
and
it.
every team they'd play. with what might just be the greatest ground offense.
So, Lawrence Phillips, man, rest in peace, man. Dude was nice, man. Like, if he didn't have the off the field issues, man, he might have been one of the greatest running backs of his generation, bro. He had it all: speed, power, and he could catch, man. It's just unfortunate, man, that it had to go like that, man. But he was nice.
Offense the sport has ever seen. 439.8 rushing yards per game, 5.1 rushing TDs per game, with significant carries from Bell Cal, Amon Green, and dual-threat powerhouse Tommy Frazier.
Frazier, there we go.
This offense, combined with a stout defense, would ensure not a single game would be decided by a single score the entire season, including, famously, the national title game against the Florida Gators, who they destroy 62-24 in the largest national title blowout until 2022.
Look at that.
The 95 Cornhuskers would finish with a final
Where you
score
going?
of
Get over here.
1,808.55, being hindered slightly by a particularly
he down? No, he ain't. No, he
putting
ain't.
them at number 4 on the list.
Frazier was nice, bro.
And like that, we finally reached the summit, the pinnacle of 21st century college
All right,
football.
let's see who number one.
The greatest team in the sample. 2008 Florida.
Oh, okay.
Understandably,
Okay. Nah. 08 was good. I ain't even gonna cap to you. 08 was good. I'm not mad at this, man. I kind of was hoping the top 5 would consist of Miami, 08 Florida, and 2019 LSU, 01 Miami, and maybe one of my Bama teams, man. So, yeah, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. That team was good, bro. Good, man. They had some characters, to say the least, man. But at the whole front of that was Tim Tebow, bro. Tim Tebow had that team good, man. And then Brandon Spikes, and you got Aaron Hernandez before all of that. You know what I'm saying? He was a beast. Man, that team was good, man. I'm not mistaken. Percy Harvin was on that team too. Like, that team was good.
some alarms.
Man, that team was good.
Did I make 2 videos and an entire formula just to make the 08 Gators the best team of all time? Somehow no, but I have a ton of explaining to do.
Yeah. Got a ton of talent too.
Led by Heisman winner and assured future NFL superstar Tim Tebow, coached by the ever above-the-line Urban Meyer, and assisted by future Pro Bowlers Carlos Dunlap, Marquise Pouncey, and
Pouncey, good.
tight end I can't really remember at this moment in time. The Gators would finish the year with the highest score of the 21st century at 2,121.75. How? The 2008 Gators do not lead in any phase of the game, unlike number 3 and 2 do. But what pushes them further is their lack of a weak unit. 0-1 Miami, despite having an all-time defense, had a comparably all-right offense, which held their score back. 2019 LSU, despite having perhaps the greatest offensive year of all time, had a defense that was fairly middle of the pack in comparison to the other teams in the sample. Florida, on the other hand, had the sample's 6th best offense, 8th best defense, and 2nd ranked special teams. Equally dominant in all phases. The Gators are helped further by the competition they did this against, playing 5 teams that finished the season ranked, including their sole 1-point loss to Ole Miss. After that loss and subsequent promise, Meyer's Gators would sweep the rest of the season.
Tebow meant business, bro. He stood on business after that.
49-10 to Georgia, 45-15 to Florida State, and finally a pair of 10-point victories in the SEC title game against Alabama and a national title game against Oklahoma and Heisman.
Hey, so look, man, that team was so good, right? Alabama went into the the shed and started, like, they came out a beast, man, that next season, bro. They went to work in the offseason just to beat this team, bro, because that's how good Florida was, bro. Set up a whole dynasty.
And Sam Bradford. And like that
was a good championship game too, though.
The best team of all time, 2008 Florida. Except when going through the honorable mentions, there was a team that stood out like a sore thumb. A team considered by many as the best team of all time.
Ooh, we got
And one
bonus?
that thankfully still has its complete end of year stats intact. Welcome back to Lincoln.
Okay. Okay. No. Okay. I wasn't expecting no bonus team. Okay. 71.
1970 that I could actually judge. 2001 Miami's defense was phenomenal, by far the greatest defensive performance in recent memory. But even it pales in comparison to what this team did. The Husker Blackshirts would, similarly, take away the ball around 4 times a game. Defense was capable of holding the
Bro.
offenses up.
130 yards a game? Bro, you can't run or pass? Oh my God, that's wild.
2001 too. Defenses
I
of
like
its
this
own
dude
time.
metrics, man.
This humiliation wasn't being done to cupcakes either. 31-7 to Colorado, 37-0 to Iowa State, 36-0 to Missouri, 38-6 to Alabama and the Orange Bowl.
Oh, woo.
The only game that even be a contest was against number 2 Oklahoma and Norman, a game considered by many to be the greatest game of the 20th century.
You know, the what do you call it? The big, I forgot what they called it back then. The big 8, was it Big 8, man? Something like that, man. That was cold, man. They turned it to the Big 12, but that was just, man. Oklahoma and Nebraska in the 70s was, man. Those were some games, man. Some games.
The final score of 2,272.47.
Jesus.
The greatest team of all time.
Amen, dog.
What does it say about college football that the greatest team ever was one from the 70s? Decades and decades of refinement, improvement, analytics, and this team that the average person likely cannot even remember is on top. What does it say about football that 2008 Florida, a team that couldn't even go undefeated, ended up as the best team of the...
Yeah, man. Good list, man. Real good list, man. I'm not even gonna cap to you, man. This list was crazy, man. Like I can't even lie. I'm not disappointed in this list at all, man. Brought back some good memories, man, of some teams that maybe I didn't really give a look at, man. I really forgot about the 17 UCF team. That was pretty good, man. So I'm not mad. This was a good list, man. Florida being at the top, man. That team was absolutely stacked. So I'm not mad about that, man. Really thought one of my Bama teams would have been top 5, but I ain't mad at that either, man. Nick Saban had some good teams, dog. So, and then the 2003 LSU team he coached was on there. So I ain't mad about that, man. So I'm definitely gonna give this guy a subscribe, man, and a like, cause this was crazy good, man. Crazy good, man. So, like I said, man, it was a good list, man. Great video. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm Cam, Football Friend of Mine Podcast, signing off.